Hello everyone and welcome back to Lakeside, and what you see in front of you is the bus station which Jeff very kindly sent to me yesterday. So I've been busy building it, and in typical Metcalfe fashion it's basically the same kind of procedure as if you assemble a normal Metcalfe building. So this is going back to the early 1970s. So it hasn't changed an awful lot. There were a couple of bits which you thought, really, that wouldn't probably happen today. But in general, it was a very, very good kit to put together. Very easily done by the fact that it's got superb instructions with it. You couldn't really go wrong with it. So it was a delight to build. It was a big build. There's lots and lots of components to it. But having said that, it took me back a bit because the size of it, I hadn't actually appreciated that the size of it would command such an area of this left-hand end. Now it's broken down into five basic components. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're not excuse me, they're not glued together yet, because I wanted to bring them up as individual sections so that I could fiddle around with it and try and get it into a position whereby it meant that I could utilise a bus coming in, going through to the, in actual fact, the front of the building, and then coming back out and down Kingsway High Street. And I had a little chuckle to myself, I must admit, that on the comments I had yesterday, I think there was every combination listed which I could have. But thank you for all those comments. And there was one or two there which I thought, yeah, that's actually quite a good idea. But as I said in the video, it's not until you're actually up here with me looking at the space, looking at the route the buses would have to take, can you make any proper informed decisions on how this should be laid out. I've probably had about 4 different combinations of layouts, and the one thing I wanted to show really was this effort, which is the corner piece. Now as you see it at the moment, like that is how the picture depicts it on the front, which is okay, it's fine, but that's of course if you're facing that way. I think this is the more interesting face, so this is certainly the way I'm going to have it round. So we've got the brick at the front with the canopy, and if I take that canopy off, pop it just down there, you can see that it's got all the different gates. Let me just zoom you in a bit to about there. You can see it's got all the different gates for the passengers to go in. So it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the front is quite bland with a white fascia to it, a rendered fascia. It's okay, but I think this is more interesting in that you've got the brickwork plus the gate plus the canopy, like that. The only thing which I would like to change on this is this area here. So bear with me a minute, this is not going to fit yet, but it will do. What I would like to do is to take, let's move that canopy up a bit, take that into about there. Now if you imagine this gap here being closed up, I can't close it up yet because of this roof line of this gate here, but I can take that back and that would move that module up, right up and butt up against that building there. So if you imagine that butted up, I could then have this, and I know it says Victoria Coach Station, but I will change that sign here. I'll have that saying, I don't know, something like Lakeside Coach Station, or the name of the road, Kingsway Coach Station, something like that. But there will be a new label on there. I then have that as the front piece, like that. So this whole lot would get shuffled up to the canopy, like that. And it makes sense because as you're coming up the road from here, you will see the name of the station. So I think that's the orientation I will adopt. So there's only one modification I need to make, and that's to this little entrance just here, which is not very much. So if I choose this, which is more than likely that I will, let's put this up. What will happen is that I can have a coach. Let's do it with this one. Let the wheels turn. I can have a coach coming up from, let's zoom you out a bit. I can have a coach coming up from Kingsway, High Street, running in, and if we take this off again, there's the entrance just here. I can have the coach going through, round the back, along the back here, and then it will exit from here and carry on down Kingsway. So that would work, that would be fine. So it'll just be a case of modifying this roadway with the new wire to bring it through around the back and join up with Kingsway again. The other option I had was that I turned it, if I can remember, I think I turned it like that, like that, like that, and like that. And then of course the canopy doesn't fit having it that way. So because these canopies, there's two canopies and they're joined in the middle, what I could do is that I could slice through that join again and cut it at 45-degree angle so that part of it would fit that way and the other half would fit that way. So I could do it that way. And that's another option I've got. So I'm still not 100% yet. I still want to play around with this and make up my mind which route I want to go. Heart of heart, this L shape here is looking better, should I say. It works better on the layout like this. The downside is there's going to be quite a bit of work in the canopy in making that at right angles. I'm sure I can do it, but it just means extra work, that's all. But you know, I've got plenty of time, so that's not the issue. But I think that would look really quite nice. The only downside, I guess, is, when I think about it, there won't be quite enough of the canopy to do it. It's not long enough to go right the way to the end here and also to here, but I could start it from this point here and go back. So that's my initial thoughts anyway. But if after I've looked at that it still doesn't work, then I might go back to the original idea, but we shall see. And the original idea was, if you remember, was to take that out there, put that up there, put that there, and that there. That would be the easy option. That wouldn't take me very much time at all. But it's whether it's time versus what I really want. And what I really really want, is really the L-shaped version like that coming round. I think that would look better. Now, I know a lot of you were probably sitting there going, well, why doesn't he put that at right angles to that and put that over there and put that at... Believe me, I've been messing around with this for the best part of 2 hours, trying to figure out different ways, different combinations of this building. And yes, of course, they work together as a group. No matter which way you do it, they will work. But what doesn't work are the buses coming in. I have to have clearance at the front, the side and the back. You know, some people say, well, yeah, could you not have it up here with this facing the track that way? And well, no, because I then haven't got any room over that way. Believe me, I really have tried sorting this out in so many ways, and as I keep saying, it's not until you're up here with me looking at it and the limited amount of space that you would probably go, oh yeah, okay, I see what you mean. When you're viewing this on a computer screen, it's very easy, isn't it, to comment and go, well, you know, I can't really see the problem. If you put that building over there, that building there, it would work. No, it wouldn't. So anyway, the building is done and I've got my 2 options. So all I need to do now is to look at it again, which I won't do today. I shall leave it for a day so that I can just forget about it and come back up with a fresh light tomorrow, and decide on one of those 2, and then I can glue it all together. The building itself is about, I don't know, 95% finished. There's still lots of detail to put on it yet. I've got window sills to put on, I've got roofs to make, not roofs but the edges of the roofs to make. So there's still a fair bit of work to do on it yet, but the main bulk is done. It just needs me now to figure out the best way, which I prefer to see it. And the more I see it, the more I like this one, because I know it will work with these coaches. Okay, and also what I can do as well is that I can bring a coach in and I can stop it before it goes through the entrance, or I can stop it at the back, hidden from view. So there's various other options I need to figure out which way I want to go. And also, if I keep to my plan of converting this bus, the red one, into the green one by taking the mechanics out of this one and putting it into the green, then I can also look at how to slow the motor down. I've been trawling through websites and web pages to get some form of idea of how to slow this motor down, and there is no believe it or not, there is no definitive answer. People say, oh, you just put a resistor in the motor, and others go, no, you can't put a resistor in, it's got to be a diode. Nobody has actually ever come up, I haven't seen an answer yet come up which says this definitely works. There's only suggestions, not actually a video saying this is how you make the Fuller system go slower. Now I know there is the digital version of these where you can control them like you can with our trains. I'm not going that route, it's far too expensive, so it's got to be this sort. So I'm still going to, that's our dog, I'm still going to make this slower, but one thing which has come out a couple of times is that this is plastic, this body, that is metal, and that is quite a lot heavier than that. And they do say that when you fit a metal body to the plastic chassis or motor, then that tends to slow it down. How much by, I don't know. But anyway, so really that's about it for now. So I shall leave this now up here and ponder on the best route. That this configuration is, for me, and that's important, for me, and the layout is probably the best one. Right, okay, before I close, I'll just take you off the tripod a second. I'll shoot you off down here. I'll show you what I've done down here. So that's the little roundabout section at the other end. So the car park is in position with the garage and the a little model shop and Daily Scoop newspaper. And so I've got Mum and Dad sitting there, and there's an elderly son there taking a photograph of them on the bench. I've got to put a couple of pathways going through here yet. I've also got to put pavements running through from here around this edge to give it a proper road feel to it. So it's not finished by any means, but at least that centre section is now done. So it is coming on, it is coming on. So if we walk along, it's actually starting to look quite nice actually, even though I say so myself. I'm actually quite pleased with this roadway. And then as we turn around, we'll get that. I will be able to shuffle that back. It won't be in that particular position there. So hopefully in the next video it will show you that in position. Okay, and all assembled. So I love you and leave you. Have a happy Easter and enjoy yourselves, and just be safe out there. Okay, so bye for now folks. Bye bye.